Gojo was an antisocial, insecure, degenerate who couldn't get the huzz to like him like how your mom loves to gobble glizzy. But he gains his balls back when he meets Marin, a cosplayer baddie who needs his help creating her costumes, and is willing to repay him by any means necessary.
Yeah, boy.
After months of helping her, they start their next cosplay adventure, and Marin shows Gojo a show about chopped-looking Temu Powerpuff Girls who are assassins. But instead of being good at their job, these clapped, big melon Powerpuff Girls stink at their job more than your filthy mothers, and blow themselves up during their missions. However, Gojo enjoys watching the show and shares his enthusiasm with Marin. Gojo asks her which character she wants to cosplay this time around, and she tells him that it's the black-haired girl with creamy plots called Alice. She expresses how much she loves Alice for how much of a cuckoo she is while still being nice, and shows him the exact scene Marin fell in love with her, where Alice first wore her assassin costume and got flustered with how much it made her look like a hoe. She adds that it makes her fall in love more that all the characters in the show wear bunny girl outfits, and it amazes Gojo just how much Marin loves bunny girl costumes. Marin informs him that no sane human being alive doesn't like bunny girls, and that bunny girl outfits are so goated that even multiple non-bunny related animes have characters wearing them for the fan service. Suddenly, Marin starts tweaking for bunny girls, and Gojo realizes just how cracked the outfits are. Then, Marin states that she learned so much from bunny girls that she believes the concept itself is eternal. And in that moment, Gojo relates the bunny outfits to his eternal love for Hina dolls, and completely agrees with her statement. With a newfound motivation, Gojo then tells Marin that he will start planning and designing her new costume. And while she's worried that he might be pushing himself, Gojo assures her that he has gotten used to costume making, and he wants to start right away. Marin wonders if she can help out, and suggests that they rent a studio to take photos. But that reminds Gojo of the time they almost bumped bellies, and he begs Marin to let him see the studio before booking them, and Marin promises that she will. She then shows him pictures from her cosplay friend, Suzuka, of a studio that Marin is looking to rent, and Marin gushes over how Suzuka's melons look so plump in her pictures. Just then, Marin offers Gojo some of her pucky, but when he tells her that he would like one, she puts one in her mouth and tempts him to take a bite and slowly get closer to her juicy lips. It causes Gojo's brain to malfunction, and Marin quickly tells him that she is joking, which he is relieved to hear. Then, while Gojo continues watching the show to get inspiration from, Marin feels fuzzy inside seeing him so invested. Suddenly, Noah pops up on the stairs, looking for Marin, and scolds Marin for now answering her texts. When she spots Gojo, she greets him and expresses how angry she is that Marin forgot to discuss their Halloween plans. To apologize, Marin feeds her some Pocky, which gets Noah's forgiveness, and they head to the cafeteria to discuss Halloween plans. But before leaving, Noah glances at Gojo watching the show, and wonders what his relationship with Marin really is. Then, on the weekend, Marin rides the train anxiously after Gojo invited her to come to his place, which she is excited about. While looking at the invitation text, she realizes that it's the first time Gojo has ever invited her to his place, and her mind wanders to possibly getting a home date or getting herself filled like a jelly donut. However, when she gets there, to her disappointment, she finds Gojo all gloomy after he failed in creating the costume perfectly according to the anime. Meanwhile, Marin is more disappointed that they're not having a home date, but quickly brushes it off so Gojo won't find out. Gojo then shows Marin how the bunny costume refuses to stay put on the melon section, which makes Gojo feel depressed about his own abilities. Marin suggests that they use alternatives like putting clear straps to prevent the top from falling, but Gojo feels that it will lose the charm of the costume, as it won't have the same effect as it did in the anime. Marin then suggests using a clip to make sure it stays skin tight, and while Gojo agrees, he's frustrated over it. So Marin decides that for now, they will use straps and urges Gojo they go buy some in that very moment, refusing to wait another second. Once they get to the material store, Gojo asks an old employee there for the clear straps and shows him the design he's creating. When the old man sees the bunny girl design, he is in shock and assumes that Gojo himself will be wearing them. But when the old prune sees the clear and honest light glimmering from Gojo's eyes, he can't help but wanting to help him out, not caring that this dude will be rocking a bunny outfit. Suddenly, Marin pops up from the bathroom and talks about how she's excited to wear the suit. and in that moment, the old man apologizes profusely. After clearing things up, they look for the straps, but the old man informs the duo that there is a way to secure the costume's top without clear straps, and it surprises the duo to hear that. The old man draws on the design and shows Gojo that, just like corsets, they can use bonings in the costume to prevent the top from falling. When hearing that, Marin asks the old man if using bonings would mean her top won't fall off, and when the old man assures her that it won't, Marin gets depressed, knowing that she won't get the chance to accidentally get her pepperonis out in front of Gojo. When they think it through, Gojo still can't believe he didn't think of using bonings, and the old man tells him that he was simply thinking too narrowly. Gojo gets depressed after hearing that, realizing that he got too confident lately that he got too sloppy. But the old man drops a gold nugget and tells Gojo that mistakes are simply a part of the process. After getting the bonings, they get the costume done, and Marin is excited to see it. Gojo asks Marin to try it on, and she's more than happy to do it. But in the middle of changing, she finds an issue. Gojo barges inside after hearing that, but to his shock, he walks into Marin in the middle of changing and sees her purple lace sticking out of the costume. Before he gets to paint his pants white, he shuts the door, and Marin apologizes while telling him that since the costume is designed that way, her plot cover can be seen. So she asks Gojo for a way out to prevent herself from going commando. But Gojo is tweaking on the other side of the door, trying to prevent his Slim Jim from becoming fat. Some days later, they meet up and go to the studio for the photoshoot, and to their amazement, the studio has multiple aesthetics fitting for different needs, which Marin is excited about. Marin then goes to change into her costume, and when Gojo looks around, he fully understands how cosplayers need the perfect background, which reminds him of how Hina dolls also need the perfect props to accompany them. Just then, Marin pops out to ask him if he still hates high-cut clothing, reminding him how much he hated it. But Gojo assures her that the only thing that hates those clothes are the tissues and Vaseline in his bedroom.
You naughty.
Moments later, Marin pops out in her full Alice costume, and while she's extremely excited with how good her costume looks from top to bottom, Gojo has already creamed when he saw the bottom, high-cut part of the costume. He asks her if she's not planning to take care of the exposed part, but Marin shows him that she's actually wearing skin-colored tights to make it seem like she's wearing nothing but her smoother-than-butter legs. But to Gojo, his hormones and his massive golden pickle, all they see is Marin looking like a total snack that will make him sin. Then, they start taking pictures, and while Marin is flawlessly posing for the camera, Gojo is having trouble keeping the camera straight while his Mr. Twinkie is begging to get out. Then, Marin moves on to a different section of the studio, and Gojo completely folds when he sees Marin in front of him with her rice cakes directly in his line of sight. Gojo quickly calls for a break, trying to get a breather from all the cream he released simultaneously. Marin pops up to tell him that while she does love Alice's design, she prefers another character's design in terms of stockings, and Gojo tells her that he never paid attention to the other characters. When she hears that, she quickly shows Gojo pictures of stockings she would love to wear, but Gojo completely freezes, questioning why Marin has a gooning-worthy folder filled with pictures of cheeks. It gives Marin an idea to create her version of a bunny outfit for Halloween, and it reminds Marin that the Halloween party is coming up, and she wants Gojo to join her to hang out with her friends. Then, at the Halloween party, everyone wears costumes, takes pictures, and enjoys their time. They end the night at the karaoke with Marin's friends, who consist of Noah, Kensei, Shiki, Ru, Dea. But while they all wear anime costumes, Gojo wears a full bear costume. The girls talk about how happy they are that the boys are with them, as Marin gets hit on a lot. Just then, Marin offers Gojo to sing a song or get himself a Halloween photo, but he rejects all of her offers, as deep down, Gojo feels anxious and wonders whether it's okay for him to tag along with their friend group. Suddenly, Marin's friends switch their attention to Gojo and ask him if he made all of Marin's costumes. When he tells them that he does the costumes and the makeup, one of the guy friends, Kensei, asks Gojo why a man like him knows how to do makeup. His question hits Gojo where it hurts, reminding him of how his childhood friend called him a freak for being a boy who likes dolls. But before Gojo gets to say anything, Shiki tells Kensei that it's normal for guys to know makeup, as his older brother goes to makeup classes. Marin tells everyone that Gojo knows his makeup because he owns a Hina doll shop. And while Gojo doesn't want her to reveal that, Kensei expresses how cool it is that he has that shop, as he once visited it and was amazed. In that moment, Gojo wonders why nobody calls him a creep for liking Hina dolls, and he realizes that the only person who ever called him a creep for liking dolls was his childhood friend. It gives him a moment of silence, a realization that maybe he is quite normal. Suddenly, Noah shouts, asking Gojo if he's dating Marin, which shocks him. It also surprised everyone to hear that sudden question from Noah, but they all agreed that they are curious about the relationship between Marin and Gojo. They bring up a rumor about how Gojo and Marin went to a summer festival together, and Marin bluntly reveals that they did go together, just because they wanted to. It raises everyone's suspicion even more, and Gojo quickly informs them all that he and Marin are not dating. Being drenched in spilled tea, Gojo and Marin get out of the room and walk past more of Marin's friends. But after they leave, everyone in the karaoke room agrees that Marin and Gojo would be perfect for each other. While cleaning his shirt, Gojo thinks to himself how an ugly bum like him should never date someone as spectacular as Marin. Meanwhile, outside the bathroom, Marin, while cleaning Gojo's bunny helmet, is completely heartbroken after hearing how much Gojo is against the idea of them dating, which makes her feel that Gojo doesn't like her at all. Just then, two hot-looking dudes confront Marin and ask her to talk with them. When Gojo exits the bathroom, he's confused about where Marin has gone, and he finds her looking uncomfortable in front of the two dudes. He recalls how Marin gets flirted with a lot whenever her friends are not with them, and realizes he needs to do something before his baby mama gets taken away. Suddenly, the blonde guy almost touches Marin, and Gojo quickly catches his hand to stop him from touching Marin. He quickly offers himself to the dude, saying that he can clap his cheeks as long as they leave Marin alone. Just then, the black-haired dude tells Blondie that he thinks Marin is getting hit on, which she's not. The Blondie quickly shows his disgust, and Gojo realizes that the two dudes are Marin's friends. Marin introduces them to Gojo as her hairstylists, who scold her a lot for not taking care of her beauty. The blonde one, Kikuchi, starts yapping at Marin about how she ruined her hair and is not taking care of it, while the other one, Heisukawa, is just sealing and teases Kikuchi for being too strict. All the while, Gojo is off to the side, realizing that he made himself look like an absolute imbecile. Afterward, Gojo is cringing at his own actions, while Marin is trying to cheer him up, saying that cringy things happen. Just then, she suddenly realizes that what Gojo tried to do was save and protect her. While Gojo is still wearing the mask, Marin secretly kisses him from the side as a sign of her love. But Gojo gets scared by it. He starts panicking, asking Marin whether she's angry at him, and when she asks his reasoning, he tells her that he heard her click his tongue in frustration. Marin assures him she's not upset, but when he asks her what she just did with his mask, she refuses to answer his question and quickly walks away without saying a thing. The next day, after the Halloween party, the teacher announces that Marin is absent because she called the teacher while being extremely sick and asked for the day off. While the class is ongoing, Gojo secretly texts her, asking if she's okay, but Marin doesn't respond. For hours, he waits for her to give him an update on her condition, but when she doesn't respond to his texts, Gojo grows anxious and decides to go to her place. Then, he rings the bell, and Marin, while weak, opens the door for him. She asks him if school is out, and he informs her that after he imagined how she probably doesn't have food and medicine, Gojo faked being sick and went to Marin to nurse her back to health. When Marin hears that, she faints and Gojo is forced to carry her inside. He asks her to change her clothes, and she tells him that her clothes are in her basket, but Gojo, being a total wimp, is scared of what freaky clothing she might have. So he approaches the basket carefully. He finds her a sweater with a girl making the same face as your mom's made last night.
Me personally, I wouldn't take this level of disrespect.
And opts for a different sweater for Marin. Then, while she changes clothes, Gojo cooks for her like a caring husband and brings her a hot bowl of porridge. He starts spoon-feeding her the porridge, blowing on it so it won't be too hot, just so his precious Marin can eat. Suddenly, Marin starts crying, expressing how she thought she was going to die for not having any food or medicine, and Gojo calmly accepts all of her tears. She asks for more food, so Gojo feeds her more, and Gojo can only smile seeing her eating while crying. Then, he gives her medicine and tells her to go to sleep. But as he's about to leave, she holds his sweater, stopping him from leaving. Gojo sits back down, and she thanks him. Then, while she's trying to sleep, Gojo stays there beside her, accompanying her until she falls asleep. Hours later, Marin feels healthier with the fever gone, and suddenly, her doorbell rings, and all of her friends are there after school, all wanting to visit her. Gojo quickly panics, realizing that if her friends find him there, they will believe more that they are dating. He quickly runs off to hide in Marin's veranda, and while Marin doesn't see the issue of him being there, Gojo stays there until the friends go home, which ends with him getting sick. Some days later, after they are both healthy, they visit the aquarium for another cosplay event, and Marin is excited to see all the animals, so she starts running. Suddenly, she spots a cosplayer cosplaying a character she recognizes, Subaru, not the one who died a million times, but the Temu version, who is a space idol that gets clapped by her producer a lot. Marin starts admiring the cosplay, practically ogling over it, but quickly apologizes to the cosplayer. She asks the cosplayer what she's doing, and she tells Marin that she dropped her skirt's hook. Marin and Gojo quickly help her find it, and while she asks them not to bother, they kindly help her out and manage to find it. She introduces her cosplay name as Amain, and they introduce their names to each other. Marin asks Amain if they can take a picture together after this, and while she initially wants to, she rejects Marin's offer, as she feels that with her skirt ruined, she can't do her cosplay justice. That is when Gojo offers to fix her skirt for her, and pulls out his emergency sewing kit that he always brought, just in case Marin's costume needs it. However, they have difficulties with where Gojo can get privacy with Amain so he can sew her skirt, but Amain calmly tells him to use the men's room. Gojo scolds her for being a freak, but to their shock, Amain reveals that she's not a girl, but in fact a slim gym-packing dude.
What?
Then, while Gojo sews his skirt, Amain reapplies his makeup, and it amazes Gojo with how much he resembles a girl. He starts thinking about what he put on his makeup to look like that, and to his confusion, he spots a water glue in his pouch, and questions what he uses it for. Meanwhile, Marin is admiring the event when she runs into Suzuka, her photographer friend she made during her first cosplay. They greet each other, and Suzuka expresses how good Marin looks in her new Shizuku outfit. It surprises Marin to hear that Suzuka plays the Saint Slipper, which is the game where cute girls get clapped silly, and Suzuka tells her that ever since she first saw Marin's first Shizuku cosplay, Suzuka has been playing and gooning to the same every night. Suddenly, Suzuka remembers how much Marin is willing to stay true to her character, and when she asks Marin about it, Marin shows her the fake pickle she has. Later, they sit down with Amain, who tells them that it's his first cosplay event and thanks them for their help. Out of dying curiosity, Gojo asks him what he has in his bag that looks like water glue, and to their surprise, he reveals that it's actual glue. Marin asks him what he uses it for, and Amain shows them that he uses it to help attach his wig and bangs to his face, preventing them from ruining his look. He then tells them that he has multiple pictures that have him using glue to make himself perfect, and when he shows them the pictures, they are in awe at how cute he looks cosplaying girl characters. Suddenly, while looking through the pictures, Gojo starts panicking at one of them, his head malfunctioning at what he's looking at. When the others take a look, it's a picture of Amain carrying absolute cannons, and Gojo asks if Amain got a BBL on his chest. But instead of telling them, Amain simply says that anyone can equip them, and offers to show them how ought do it. While Gojo hesitates, Marin is excited to see some melons. So, Amain takes them to a cosplay specialty store, and there, he shows them a 2D equipable melons that cosplayers use that looks like a pair of cheeks. He tells them that using it is better to replicate the badonk kadonk scene in an anime, and Marin agrees after how she struggled to make her melons look like Shizuku's in the past. Amain adds that it's perfect to be used whenever they don't want to actually show off their melons, and she shows it by putting it on Gojo as an example. Seeing the twin puppies, Marin can't help but get excited, so she starts toying with them like any healthy woman. But Gojo quickly pulls away, embarrassed, as if it's his actual cannons.
I am a man!
Then, Amain shows them more of the cosplay tools, and both Marin and Gojo are in awe, seeing all the things they have never seen before. But what Gojo is more interested in is how Amain manages to turn himself from looking like a chopped, glizzy dangling dude into a cuter version of James Charles. Gojo adds that while he has experience in giving girls makeup to look like a boy, he doesn't know how to do the reverse. Amin starts by informing them of his tricks to change his eye shape to make it bigger, and he reveals that he does it by using eyeliner to make his eyes look sparkly. Then, he tells them to always get an orange concealer, saying it's extremely important, and when they ask him what he uses it for, he informs them that he uses it to cover the remaining hairs on his mustache and stubble, ensuring he looks like a baddie at all times. Marin acts quickly and gets them into her basket so she can buy them, and Gojo reflects on how truly fun it is for him to learn more about his craft from someone. Then, they walk around the aisle and Amin shows Gojo things he has never seen before, like sculptings to make weapons from, and pre-made wigs, which Gojo didn't know existed. Amin gives him a closer look by handing him his cosplay hair, and it amazes him with how easy it is. After hearing that, Amin expresses how the store they are in sells pre-made items like costumes, which makes it easier for people who don't have time, like him, to be able to live their passion and cosplay. Later, they take a picture together to commemorate their lovely meeting, and Marin is hyped that she gets to make more memories. Suddenly, her eye tape peels off, and she quickly gets Gojo to put more on her. But while at it, Amin watches them, in awe of their relationship. Just then, two other cosplayers pop up, recognizing Amin's cosplay, and ask for a picture together. Amin agrees to their request, but when he reveals to them that he's a glizzy gooning dude, they are in shock and get even more excited, seeing how a dude can look so cute in a cosplay, and both Marin and Gojo can relate to their excitement. Gojo volunteers to take their pictures, and Marin watches from afar, feeling warm and fuzzy inside about this whole experience. She joins in to take another picture, and it turns into a whole picture event, where other cosplayers join, and even a cameraman helps out, which creates a beautiful memory for all who are involved. Afterward, they go their separate ways, and Marin asks Amin how he turned into a cosplayer in the first place. He reflects on how his older sister was the first person who played around and put him in makeup and a wig. But when he first saw himself in the mirror, he didn't recognize himself and liked what he saw. He then continued cosplaying, getting praised by his open-minded family, while hiding the truth from people, as they all saw him as someone weak due to being short and skinny.
Damn!
But because of his cosplays, Amin grew more confident, and each cosplay was a step for him to become stronger and to slowly love himself more. But then, he suddenly got himself a girlfriend. But when she visited his place, she found the cosplay outfits and accused him of cheating on him with multiple different baddies. But when Amin managed to convince her that it was he who turned into a baddie and wore them, his girlfriend ordered him to throw all the clothes away and called him a creep, which is something Gojo can relate to. However, to Gojo's surprise, Amin informs him that he simply dumped the stupid hoe for her stupid request. Suddenly, Marin starts crying and expresses how hurt she is by hearing Amin's backstory and how dumb his ex was for hurting him like that. Amin assures Marin that he's not hurting anymore and expresses how he refused to throw all the clothes away, as deep down, it meant throwing out a part of himself that made him the strong person that he is today. He then adds how worried he was that Gojo might also think he was a creep. But Gojo assures him he will never think that, as deep down, he knows how Amin felt. Amin apologizes for assuming things and reflects on how happy he truly is to meet some wonderful people today, and that he shouldn't assume that other people will hurt him just because one person did. Afterward, they change into their regular looks and go their separate ways. But as Amin walks away, both Gojo and Marin can't help but admire how Amin is both cute and handsome. The next day, during lunch, Gojo tells his grandpa, Kaoru, that he will be leaving after lunch, and the old man sees him off, happy that his grandson has a good friend. He goes to one of Marin's photo shoots for a magazine, and there, he meets Marin's agent, and he points out how thick the jacket Marin is wearing. The agent informs him that agencies like theirs usually take pictures months in advance for their magazines, and they are currently preparing for winter. Gojo expresses just how much he's clueless about the modeling work, and it amazes him just how great Marin looks in all of the jackets. The agent adds to his compliment, saying that not only is Marin a total baddie, but everyone also loves her and loves to work with her because of her attitude. However, she doesn't understand why Marin has been working harder than before, but Gojo knows exactly why, and it's because Marin wants to buy a professional camera. Then, while watching Marin intensely, Gojo realizes how unlike the Marin he knows. There's another Marin that exists in the modeling world, one whom he has never known about. However, the agent tells Gojo that despite her popularity, Marin refuses to be their magazine's exclusive model because of her hobbies taking too much of her time. So the agent hopes that Gojo, as her boyfriend, can convince her to change her mind. But Gojo starts panicking, informing her that he's not Marin's girlfriend, and that their relationship is based solely on money. But hearing that, the agent thought that Marin is Gojo's sugar mommy who pays him to clap her boots off every night. Hours later, the photo shoot finishes, and they split up. But the more Gojo looks at her, the more he sees how different Marin is compared to the one he knows. Then, she informs her agent that she will be attending someone's birthday party after this, and knowing Marin's birthday, she suspects that it's Gojo's birthday they are celebrating, and that Gojo was too shy to reveal himself as Marin's lover. However, the agent is also mistaken, as the birthday they are celebrating turns out to be Shizuka's, just because Marin loves her so much. She starts to excitedly get freaky with a Shizuka body pillow, and bump bellies like rabbits with it. Meanwhile, Gojo is effing confused with what he's witnessing, but he realizes that the Marin who's currently in front of him is the one she is willing to show to only him, and he's happy about that, even though Marin does some freaky stuff. Thank you for watching today's recap video. If you enjoy this recap, comment down below a cute and clappable man and hit the like button for part 4.